And
Let's
three.
see this. Wait a minute. Let me see if I put this up here. And you're like there. Is that better like that?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you great. Yes, sir. Then we're ready to go. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Great Scott Podcast. Today, I am joined by the dashing and well-dressed actor and the brother of Katey Segal, Miss Peg Bundy. I'm pleased to welcome actor Joey Sagal. How's it going, Joey?
Great. How are you, Mike? Nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you, sir. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
So, Joey, like I mentioned up at the top of the show, you're related to Peg Bundy. That's your sister, Katey.
Yeah.
But are you related to Steven Seagal at all? And
No, I'm not. I did a movie with Steven in Thailand, actually, called Into the Sun.
yeah,
But I've never, and I was in Bangkok with him for a couple of weeks. Very nice guy. But we're not related. Actually,
Okay.
he spelled his name Seagal.
Oh, okay.
We spell our name Sagal, which is Seagal.
Yeah,
Seagal, Seagal.
Seagal. Okay.
Tell him I said that.
so,
Oh, just him.
so Joe, you come from a very show business family. That's pretty much what your whole family.
Yeah, I was a
And-
director also. He directed a Mega Man and discovered Nick Nolte as an actor with my mother. Directed Richmond Poor Man, the miniseries, and directed Elvis Presley and business.
And you've actually gotten to play Elvis twice.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. A little more than that. I was actually first cast as Elvis by Steve Martin, the comedian Steve Martin, in the theater, the Steppenwolf Theater Company did a play. They came to Los Angeles, and I was cast as Elvis in it, in a play called Picasso with the Le Panagio that Steve wrote. And I did it for 10 months at the Geffen Playhouse, and 8 shows a week.
330 performances in 10 months. Yeah.
Performances. So I can pretty much just start talking like Elvis whenever I want. Pretty much just like that.
Yeah.
So I kind of got typecast, and I got into I did a Stephen King miniseries, really cool part called They Got One Hell of a Band. They flew in Australia, and it's a kind of an evil Elvis, kind of a demon Elvis. And I played him as an impersonator a couple of times in movies. And then I wrote this right behind me, Elvis and Nixon.
Elvis Nixon, yeah.
Last movie with
Hanala with your wife.
Shannon played Elvis, and I played the Elvis impersonator, and I wrote it and executive produced. So I'm a little connected to Elvis, yeah, but I'm not a big, I'm not an Elvis freak. I'm not an Elvis impersonator. I'm an actor.
Yeah.
Who was cast in the part of Elvis. And I did this play, and I kind of got typecast, and it's a good person to be typecast as. It's really fun to play. Of course, now I'm a little too old, so now I would have to be an impersonator, or as if Elvis didn't die and somehow lived, I could be great for that part. Or I'm really, really well cast as the Elvis's ghost. I played Elvis's ghost in a Stephen King miniseries, and also the Steve Martin play I did was the spirit of Elvis. It was a ghost of Elvis in a 1903 in a bar with Picasso and Einstein. And the spirit, the ghost of Elvis shows up and gives the Picasso the vision to paint the Mademoiselle d'Avignon. And it's a really beautiful, it was a great part. But I played the ghost of Elvis a lot.
And you actually got to meet Elvis yourself on one of your dad's films.
I did. My dad directed Girl Happy.
Yep.
And I was an Elvis freak as a kid. I got a little disillusioned, I think, with a lot of people when he started wearing the white suit and everything. But as a kid, I loved him. I loved like King Creole and Viva Las Vegas. And,
Yep.
and my dad was directing Elvis and Girl Happy. And yeah, I got to meet him. It was great. It was really.
Did Elvis like all those impersonators impersonating him? I'm just curious.
I think he did. Because I'm I've read a lot about him, and he actually kind of got a kick out of it. And the joke was a lot of the impersonators looked and sounded more like he did than in later life than he actually did. And we kind of wrote about that in the scene in Elvis and Nixon in the airport where I play the Elvis impersonator and I run into the real Elvis. And I think he's another Elvis impersonator.
Oh, it's,
I'm
now,
mistaken. I mean, I get into a little competition with him, and I never realized he's really Elvis because he doesn't look as much like Elvis as he used to.
now you had touched on that poster behind you, Elvis and Nixon, and
What
that's
poster?
yeah, what yeah. But you and your wife Hanala did
X.
ex-wife.
X. Okay. Yeah. My ex-wife and I wrote it. The other people kind of jumped in there and kind of got the credit. I tried to get credit, and that's whether my ex-girlfriend and whatever. But yeah, we all wrote it together.
Okay. So can you describe the relationship between Elvis and Nixon a little bit? I mean, the friendship. I know that he brought a gun into the White House.
They were really, really close, I think. And as a matter of fact, I had really wanted to extend the Elvis and Nixon story that he had faked his death and became an agent for Nixon, and went out on some missions as the drug enforcer and did all those things he wanted to do. And Nixon would have been his boss. But they really got along very well on the level of, that's what was so interesting was that they both came from nothing. Nixon came from, not much money, and Elvis came from really not much money, and rose to the pinnacle of their prospective field at a certain point. And I think they really related to each other on those things. And I think Elvis was a bit conservative in his views, and I think that he related to Nixon. Even though, and that's what the irony of Elvis and Nixon was. He was literally on 12 prescription drugs when he died, and but felt in his mind that it was okay because they were prescription, even though they were like Dilaudid and very heavy opiated drugs. But he felt with Nixon that honestly that he wanted to arrest people that didn't have prescriptions, or what it was basically, the drug. And even so, I mean, it was just an irony. The whole story is just the greatest irony. The most interesting thing about Elvis and Nixon to me, let me make it clear though, was the speech patterns of each of these people, and they're so recognizable. I knew that it would be a great piece for two actors to get in there, the real actors. It could also be a play, I think, a really great play. But just to, it's a great, most big actors, movie stars, or the big actors, and I tell this to a lot of screenwriters, are offered the same part, about 5 or 6 parts, the good guy, the bad guy, the sleazy bad guy, the good, the sleazy good guy, whatever,
Yeah.
And when you can come up with Elvis and Nixon, to me, are the two of the most funny, interesting kind of characters but that are actually been filmed, so much that we have these specific images of them in our minds, that it's just a treat for an actor to play somebody like that. The same way, I guess, people were getting off on playing Trump, a real character, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, Elvis and Nixon just, whoa, Elvis and whoa, Elvis, there's just those two guys in a room talking with those speech patterns were just,
So are you going to try to, so you mentioned that you would make a great play, which I think it would. Are you going to try to bring it as a play?
I tried to, and I just couldn't get anybody interested. I tried I had the artistic director at the Geffen. I brought it to people. I said, please, this will be great. Even once I got the movie going, I couldn't for some reason get the play going. And I wanted to, because I want to play them on stage, because I've played them on stage.
Yeah.
To bring the voice pretty much like this and do the whole thing like that. And again, that way I could actually, be as old as I am and still play the young guy, the 42-year-old guy. I couldn't do that in film, but on stage I could do it. And I've done it on stage, and it's an amazing the reaction you get from people. If you can just bring them a second of Elvis, and out of a 20-minute performance, every couple of times there'll be a second where he looks and sounds like him for a second there,
Absolutely.
And you just kind of gasp, and people just love that. But I wasn't an impersonator. I've never sung him except in the movie. I was always just talking him, and I didn't really sing Elvis that much.
Now, going back to your dad for just a moment, your dad was introduced to your mom by a very famous person,
Norman Lear.
Norman Lear.
Yeah.
Norman Lear introduced your parents to each other.
Well, it was either Norman or Bud. It might have been Bud York and Norman's partner. Where they were all
Yeah.
close. They were all they were all a bunch of a group of friends. And my mother was Norman and Bud's secretary when he was due. She was and worked
Okay.
for their assistant writer when they were doing the Dean Martin Jerry Lewis show. And that's how they kind of got close with and everything. And then I think my dad came in and that's they introduced and Norman I think threw my parents' wedding party. It's like I don't know, I wasn't there, but that's what I heard.
Okay. So do you still see Norman from time to time? And the man looks great.
No, not really. I mean,
No.
I haven't seen him. I spent Yom Kippur with Norman about 2011, was it, or something like that?
Okay.
Since then, once in a while. We're not that close, but
Yeah.
we were when I was, a young kid. He was closer with my parents, I think.
I gotcha. Now, so I have to ask you about your sister, Katey Segal.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Married with Children. That's like my guilty pleasure, just watching Katey. What was it like to grow up in the Segal household with all those future actors and actresses?
Okay.
Okay. It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It was kind of, nobody knew anybody was going to be an actor. It wasn't
Okay.
like, I don't think Katey didn't want to be an actress. She was like in her 30s. I didn't really want to be an actor until I was 18 and out of high school. None of us really. Actually, we were more musical. Music was the thing back then.
Okay. Yeah.
Late 60s. I turned 10 around 67. And nobody really wanted to get into acting. It was music. And then around 75, around when I turned 18, right out of high school, I went right into Lee Strasberg and I got into acting. And then she, I think later she got into acting through, she was with Bette Midler as a harlot. She was back up as singing with Bette Midler, and she kind of brought that character into Peggy Bundy. Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
I mean,
and I heard that.
Bette Midler and Peggy Bundy. And they're talking about
Yeah.
She kind of took Bette's act and kind of brought it into a sitcom, I think.
And that's one thing I heard is that Beth really, or I think I've said that Bette Midler wanted that part of Peg Bundy.
No, I heard the only thing I ever heard was Roseanne Barr was offered it and Sam Kinison were offered the parts. I never heard Bette Midler was offered it.
Okay, I thought I heard.
Usually, I think Roseanne Barr and Sam Kinison, and they turned it down, and then Katey and Ed O'Neill.
And then Ed O'Neill, yeah. But like I said, just a guilty pleasure of mine. It comes on every day pretty much, and yeah.
It's fun.
So have you all of you Segals gotten to work together on a project or?
No, I've never.
No.
I kind of did a little part on Married with Children, but that was with Ed. I did like one episode.
Oh, really? So which one?
Oh yeah, I did one episode with Eddie O'Neill. It was the episode with Shannon Tweed, isn't it?
Oh yes.
That episode, and I play. What do I play, man? I play a innkeeper, Randolph the innkeeper. I'm in like the first 5 minutes of the thing.
Oh, gotcha.
So yeah, so that was but I've never acted with her. No.
No. Have you guys tried working something out with the?
Not really.
No.
I don't think she really wants to act with me, but it's okay.
Gotcha.
For some reason, it's okay though.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what are you up to now, Joey? What can I? Is there anything?
Well, I had a movie on Amazon that just came out called Bad President, where I played Michael Bloomberg. That was out about 2 months ago, and I'm about to shoot a movie that's we don't. It's called Haiku 19 right now, but we don't know the title. But it's a really good company that's doing it, and we'll see what's happening. I played like a senator in it.
Are you guys shooting now?
I started shooting in February.
Oh, okay, so not too long from now then.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, not too long.
They told me, they asked me if I my nudity. So I've been getting into shape.
Nudity? Wow.
Yeah, and I might be doing my first nude scene at 64. So, I'd be flattered, really. Wow.
Hey, if Terry Bradshaw can do it in his 70s.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah. Do you have mixed feelings about that, or what was your first reaction when he asked you to do your first?
I said, "Wow, that would be great. I'm waiting for that break. That'll really get me to be a big star." No, it was, I thought about that actually. I said, when I was younger, I'd probably be offended, but now that I'm older, I think it's kind of, flattering that they want to see me. If I don't know what they asked if I had tattoos and if I'm against nudity, and I said no, I don't like nudity.
Okay.
We'll see.
Gotcha. Well, that should be interesting. I cannot wait to see.
It's a bad movie. It's a nice film, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned that you just did a film called Bad President on Amazon. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Bad President.
And you played Michael Bloomberg.
Yeah, he stars in it, Eddie Griffin, and it's about Trump and the whole thing like that.
Yeah.
And it's got a little press. You can Google it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I will definitely go watch that. That sounds like an interesting film.
Yeah, it is. I don't have that big of a part in it. I was just kind of a part of it.
Oh, gotcha.
So it wasn't my biggest part, but it was fun project to be involved in.
Well, so you also so like I said, your whole family pretty much is in acting. Liz Sagal.
Well, no, not my whole family, actually. My brother, I've got a brother who's a lawyer, and he's married to an actress. Okay.
Gotcha.
And then my little sisters are not really acting anymore. They're writers and directors. They used to have a series called Double Trouble. Right? Is that
yes, sir. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
They don't act anymore. Or apparently they, I guess they got offered a part, but I don't think they've done it in 20 years or something.
Yeah, that's one thing I was going to ask, if they ever still get offered anything at all from time to time.
I haven't seen. I don't think they've done anything for a while.
Okay.
I guess I don't know.
But your sister Liz Sagal,
yeah,
she was a writer. I mean, on such shows as Mad About You and Monk.
Yeah. She's a writer now. She writes now. She likes to write, yeah, and she's a good writer, and she's written a bunch of TV episodes.
Well, I hope, yeah. No, so I was just going to say, I hope that maybe somewhere along the way we'll see you and her on something that you guys worked and collaborated on.
Yeah, that would be fun. Our family doesn't do that. Isn't that big of a collaborating people as much. I don't think as a lot of other people.
Does it? Do they just feel like everyone just is doing their own thing? I mean, everyone has their own careers.
Pretty much, and people do different things. Sitcoms and
yeah.
I would rather do one camera shows than 3 camera shows. Whatever.
Are you guys still? Are you guys close as a family though?
Sometimes. Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
You still talk and see each other from time to time when
oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. Gotcha. But so I do want to ask you about Double Trouble that you're talking about. It ran for 1 season.
Yeah. No, I think it was a season and a half.
Season and a half.
Yeah.
It was a great show that I feel like should have lasted a little bit longer.
That was a good, fun show, but I just think that it didn't get the audience. The audience didn't, wasn't there for him. But c'est la vie, mon ami.
Absolutely, yeah. That show should have lasted longer. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And they wished it lasted longer.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, Joey, thank you so much for being on the show. And I have one more question for you, sir.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for asking me.
Where
can I watch this?
I can send you my link.
Give me a link.
Yeah, absolutely. Give me about a week and a half to have this thing edited, and we can. I'll send you the link.
Great, Mike. Thanks so much.
Thank you, sir.
And where are you, by the way?
I'm in Kansas City, Missouri.
All right.
and then hoping to move to Corona, depending, to Los Angeles.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Right. Totally. Well, come on down.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank
Talk to
you.
you later.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Boop.